Welcome to our lecture online. Now let's allow our disk to roll. So we're going to do the same problems we just did, but now the disk will be rolling, which means the friction is still near zero, small enough so that we don't have to worry about it slowing down the rolling, but enough to cause the roll to happen. Otherwise, with zero friction, the disk could not roll. Again, it starts at the top of the hill, where the initial height will be h plus r for the potential energy times mg, because we have to take into account the radius of the disk. And notice that it's going to roll down the hill. The variable x is the what we call the unit along the hypotenuse, and x starts at 0 at the top and it increases going down. So it's a positive x as we go down the hill. We're going to use the Lagrangian, which is defined as the kinetic energy minus the potential energy, and this equation to find the differential equation describing that motion. So first we need to find the kinetic energy. And the kinetic energy is going to be the sum of the translational kinetic energy and rotational kinetic energy. So it's going to be equal to 1/2 mv squared plus 1/2 I omega squared, 1/2 I omega squared, because we assume that it's a solid disk. All right, so how do we write that? Well, this is equal to 1/2 times the mass times x dot squared, because x dot is defined as the velocity. It's the dx dt. And then for the I, that would be 1/2 I, which, okay, I was slightly mistaken here. So this is the kinetic energy of the rotational motion, this is the kinetic energy of the translational motion, but now to find I, assuming that it's a solid disk, we're going to write 1/2 times m times r squared. So that's the moment of inertia of the solid disk. Now what about omega? Well, omega can be written as theta dot, because omega is d theta dt. And of course, theta can be written as, well, there's a relationship. We could say that x is equal to r times theta, so x dot is equal to r times theta dot, or theta dot can be written as x dot divided by r. So omega squared is going to be written as theta dot, and theta dot is going to be written as x dot over r. So we have x dot squared divided by r squared instead of omega squared. All right, then we see that the r squareds cancel out. And that means that the kinetic energy can be written as 1/2 mass times x dot squared plus 1/4 mx squared plus 1/4 mx dot squared. And then, of course, when you add that together, that gives you 3/4 mx dot squared, which is the kinetic energy of that rolling disk in the direction along the incline. So now we need the potential energy. So the potential energy is going to be equal to the initial potential energy minus the change in the potential energy as the disk rolls down. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be the same equation that we got the last time. The original potential energy is going to be equal to mg times h plus r. And then we have to subtract from that the change in the potential energy. That would be x times the sine of theta is the distance. And so it will be mg times the distance it loses in terms of x. So minus mg times x times the sine of theta, which is the diminishing potential energy from the initial potential energy. And now I think we're ready to calculate this. Oh, well, no, not yet. Before we do that, we're going to need the Lagrangian, which is the difference. So Lagrangian equals the kinetic energy minus the potential energy, which is equal to the kinetic energy is right here, 3/4 mx dot squared minus the potential energy, which is mg times h plus r, and a minus times a minus becomes plus mg x sine of theta. So we can write it like that. That will now be the Lagrangian. And now we're ready to find the differential equation by solving these portions right here. So first, we take the partial of the Lagrangian with respect to x dot. And notice that the only term that has an x dot is this right here. So that means we're going to write it as 6/4 mx dot, because we take the 2 we multiply, we get 6 over 4 x to the first power, x dot to the first power, which is equal to 3 over 2 mx dot. So now we need to take the derivative with respect to time. So the ddt of the partial of L with respect to x dot is going to be equal to the ddt of 3 over 2 mx dot, which then becomes 3 over 2 mx double dot. All right, so now we have the left side of the equation. Now we need the right side, well, the left portion of the left side of the equation. Now we need the partial of L with respect to x. All right, so we take a look at this and notice that we only have one term here that has an x in it, mg and the sine of theta. Those are all constants because the angle doesn't change. So the derivative of this with respect to x is simply going to be mg times the sine of theta. mg times the sine of theta. Now, let's see here. Potential energy minus that becomes plus, and mg sine of theta. It's a positive value. There we go. We're good. Now we have this portion, which is right here. We have this portion, which is right here. So now we can write that the dt, this one right here, the derivative with respect to time of partial of L with respect to x dot is right here. That gives us 3 over 2 mx double dot minus the partial of L with respect to x, which is mg sine of theta. That must be equal to 0. Now we can see that we have an m on both of the terms. That disappears. Multiply both sides by 2/3, so we have x double dot minus 2/3 g sine theta is equal to 0. And then finally, since this is essentially equal to a, we can say the acceleration down the incline is going to be equal to, moving that to the other side, 2/3 g sine theta. And that will be the acceleration of the rolling disc down the incline in terms of g and in terms of the angle. And that looks kind of right because that sounds familiar for a rolling disc down the incline. Well, on the next video, we're going to check to make sure that this is indeed the right equation. And that is how it's done.